you said was that married women are the most attractive. And the next second, you were reborn from a lifelong single guy into a total scumbag, a domestic abuser, who somehow married a household name pop star and she even had his daughter. But ever since they got married, she ended up getting fired from her company. You jinx, it's your fault, I lost my job, you couldn't help but think. The guy before you was a real piece of work right now, the mother and daughter, who had just been roughed up by the original owner, were trembling on the couch, and Olivia, who was holding the child, saw you staring at her and instinctively pulled little Ren even closer. Her eyes brimming with tears, she had thought about taking Ren and leaving. But she was an orphan herself, and every penny in this house was in the hands of this monster. Seeing how terrified the two of them were, you let out a long sigh. Might as well make the best of it, you slowly stood up, turned on the light, and the warm amber glow filled the room. Lighting up the whole place, you looked at the mess all around you and scratched your head speechless. Then you opened the window to let in some fresh air and quietly started picking up the empty liquor bottles scattered around. Olivia still sat on the couch, holding Ren without moving. But a flash of surprise crossed her eyes. You didn't rush over to disturb the mother and daughter. Instead, you grabbed a rag from the kitchen and wiped down the table. By the time the whole place was spotless, you were already drenched in sweat. So you grabbed some clean clothes from the bedroom and headed into the bathroom. Olivia watched the closed bathroom door, and the tension in her body finally eased a little. She looked at the room you had just cleaned, her eyes full of pure disbelief. Why did this monster suddenly change? Mommy, I'm hungry, be patient, sweetie. Mommy will make you something to eat in a bit. Olivia stroked Ren's hair and said softly, she could only wait until you went to sleep before she could cook something for herself and the child. Just then, the bathroom door swung open and you stepped out. The mother and daughter sitting on the worn little couch both flinched back at the same time. You shook your head, ignored them both, and walked straight out the front door. Olivia froze, her eyes filled with a kind of despair. Did he go out to buy more booze? Hadn't had enough tonight, now she and Ren would have to go hungry again. Olivia bit her lip and the tears started falling. Mommy, don't cry, Ren isn't even hungry anymore. Ren thought it was her own hunger that was making Mommy cry. She quickly reached out her soft little hands and clumsily wiped Olivia's face. Olivia bit her lip even harder and the tears fell faster. After a long moment, she finally spoke in a trembling voice. Be good, sweetie. Let Mommy put you to sleep. If you sleep, you'll forget you're hungry. Tomorrow morning, Mommy will wake up early and make you something yummy. Okay? Okay, Mommy, don't cry. Olivia softly hummed a lullaby to coax Ren to sleep. Watching Ren slowly close her eyes, Olivia thought back on everything that had happened in these 2 years since the wedding. Her heart ached in a way she couldn't put into words. She finally made up her mind to leave this hell tomorrow. Even dying out there would be better than being tortured to death by this monster. Suddenly, the sound of the door lock clicking came from outside. Olivia, who was still lost in thought, couldn't help but tremble again. She instinctively covered Ren's ears and quietly listened to the sounds outside. You pushed the front door open and instinctively glanced toward the couch. Your expression froze for a second. They had gone back to the bedroom, but it seemed like they hadn't eaten yet. You stood there holding the food you bought, lost in thought. Then after a moment, you set the food on the table and walked toward the bedroom. Olivia had been holding her breath the whole time when she heard your footsteps. Slowly approaching the bedroom, she silently prayed you wouldn't come in. But then the next moment, hey, I got you guys some food if you're hungry. Come out and eat. I am sleeping in the side room tonight. Hearing that, Olivia snapped her eyes open. Then she heard your footsteps slowly fade away. The room fell quiet again, with only Olivia's tense breathing echoing through the bedroom. Ren had woken up at some point, having clearly heard your voice. She was curiously staring at the closed door. The smelly daddy actually didn't come back to sleep in the room tonight, and it sounded like he said he bought food for them. The thought of food made her hungry again. She swallowed and looked up at her mommy with hopeful eyes. Olivia looked down at her daughter's eager expression and finally worked up the courage. She tiptoed quietly to the bedroom door and opened it. The smell of the food on the dining table hit her right away, and Olivia's eyes instantly welled up. He actually bought food for them, facing this sudden act of kindness from you. What Olivia felt wasn't happiness, it was a deep bone-level fear. Why is he acting like this? What does he want from me now? Ren ran over on her bare little feet, her short legs carrying her as fast as they could. She squeezed into the doorway and peeked outside. Her eyes instantly lit up, and she couldn't help but drool a little, but she didn't move on her own. Instead, she tilted her head and looked up at her mommy with wide, unblinking eyes. Olivia took a deep breath, then forced a small smile at the corner of her lips and picked Ren up. Be good, sweetie, let's eat quietly, okay? Ren nodded her little head frantically inside the side room. You of course heard the sounds outside. You let out a long sigh, and after the sigh, you started thinking things over. Right after buying the food earlier, you had realized there was only about $1,800 left in savings in this household. You needed to make money. Then after a moment, you suddenly sat up straight, wondering how you hadn't thought of this sooner. This is a parallel world. You felt a rush of excitement and grabbed your phone, scrolling through it non-stop. After a little while, a smile spread across your face. Sure enough, this world was just like the memories. The music culture and entertainment industry here were completely different from your old world. Some generic throwaway songs were actually topping the charts. You gripped your phone tight, your mind racing through melodies. One iconic song after another surfaced in your memory. As you kept thinking, your eyes grew heavy and you drifted off to sleep, dragging your exhausted body into dreamland. The next morning at 6 o'clock sharp, you quietly opened the side room door and stepped out. The dining table and kitchen had already been cleaned spotless. It must have been Olivia who tidied up after eating last night. You stood there for a moment thinking, then quietly slipped into the bathroom to wash up. You knew Olivia usually got up around 8 to make breakfast because the original you always slept past 10. And only after you got up and had your drink could the two of them eat whatever leftovers you left behind. You instinctively let out another sigh, then quickly finished washing up. Inside the bedroom, Olivia was actually already awake, but she didn't dare go out. The sounds of washing up outside went quiet. Then the front door opened and closed. Olivia pressed her lips together, staring at the bedroom door. Wondering what you had gone out for this time, she waited a long while and nothing stirred outside. Olivia glanced at Ren, still sound asleep beside her, thought about it, and finally worked up the nerve to slip out of bed. She opened the bedroom door and walked out. The strong smell of alcohol had mostly faded. Fresh air was drifting in through the open window and it smelled wonderful. This all felt unreal to Olivia. It had been so long since she had smelled anything this clean. And gazed out at the world outside without even realizing it. She got lost in thought. It was only in that moment that she suddenly remembered she was only 24 years old. She wasn't sure how long had passed when the front door clicked open again. Olivia snapped back to reality, and her whole body went rigid on instinct. She turned around mechanically, and you stopped awkwardly in your tracks. You hadn't expected Olivia to already be up when you went to wash up. You noticed there was no food in the house. So you had just come back with some meat, vegetables, and rice. The two of you just stood there frozen. This was the first time you had gotten a good look at your wife, and she was genuinely stunning, far prettier than any influencer or celebrity back in your world. But she was way too thin and her face was unnaturally pale. Probably from malnourishment, seeing that your heart felt a mix of pain, anger, and shame. What kind of animal treats a wife this beautiful this way? That guy deserved everything coming to him. Oh hey, good morning. I'm gonna go start on breakfast. You were the first to break the awkward silence. And quickly headed into the kitchen with the groceries. Olivia could barely believe her ears or her eyes. He actually said good morning to her, and since when did he know how to cook? Olivia quietly watched the figure moving around in the kitchen, and a wave of overwhelming grief washed over her. She bit her lip hard, and her eyes started to fill with tears. What is this supposed to mean? Is he feeling guilty now? Mommy Ren had woken up and couldn't find her mom, so she came running out on her bare little feet. The second she stepped out, her little nose caught the smell of food cooking, and she turned toward the kitchen with wide eyes. You naturally spotted the little one from the kitchen and grinned at her. But Ren got scared and scooted behind Olivia. You rubbed your nose helplessly. In no time the food was ready. You looked over at the two of them still standing stiffly at a distance and said, "Go wash up and come eat." Ren was clearly already drooling, but she still didn't move, and Olivia was equally unsettled. Looking at the scene in front of her, you had been kind of excited. But seeing how guarded the two of them were, that excitement sank straight to the bottom. You were quiet for a moment, and then sighed and said, "You guys go ahead and eat with that." You walked into the side room. Olivia didn't move. She watched the side room door close, then looked down at the hopeful look in her daughter's eyes and sighed quietly to herself. "Come on, Ren, let's go eat." On the table sat the millet porridge you had made, golden and inviting, alongside two small side dishes and a little bowl of steamed egg custard. The moment Ren spotted the steamed egg, her eyes absolutely lit up. Mommy did Daddy make this for Ren? Olivia was momentarily at a loss for words. She looked at the hopeful expression on her daughter's face, and in the end just nodded. Ren's eyes got even brighter. She couldn't wait to scoop up a spoonful of egg custard and pop it in her mouth. "This is the first time Daddy ever made food for me. It's so yummy." Olivia just ate in silence. Her heart was tangled up and she felt lost. Her gaze drifted without thinking toward the side room and that closed door. You were sitting at the desk in the side room, honestly starving. But you knew those two weren't at the point yet where they could sit at the same table and eat with you. You shook all those thoughts out of your head and pulled out your phone to open up the platform in this world. You deleted the old account that had only a few thousand followers and made a brand new one. Out of habit, you clicked on the trending charts and the next second your brow furrowed. What kind of garbage is this? What is this last-minute filler? How is this kind of throwaway pop song dominating the charts you had a plan forming in your mind? You dug out some sheet music paper from the desk that had been collecting dust for a long time, all left behind by Olivia. You spread the pages flat on the desk, and your pen flew across the paper as you wrote out the staff notation. Back in your old world, you were a songwriter. This was just moving things across time and space. A little thing like this was nothing to you, and sure enough, in no time at all, a complete score was sitting in front of you. You eagerly dug through the closet and pulled out a guitar. You sat down at the desk holding the guitar and took a moment to settle into the feeling, then closed your eyes and let your fingers gently brush the strings. As the guitar music floated out from the room, Olivia, who was quietly eating, suddenly froze. "He plays guitar. How is that possible? That guitar is mine." Olivia knew for a fact that he didn't play guitar. At least he never did before, so what was going on? Then along with the guitar, your voice slowly drifted out. "Because I dreamed you left me." Olivia froze even harder, her eyes filled with complete disbelief. Even Ren, who had been happily eating, stopped her spoon mid-air and stared at the closed side room door, her big eyes blinking and blinking. Ren tilted her little head toward the sound. Ren knew this was the first time Daddy had ever cooked for her, and Daddy's voice was so gentle. Even though Olivia had never heard this song before, she could tell right away just how special it was. Such a beautiful melody, she could hardly believe it was coming from your mouth. Then the next line rang out, and something in Olivia started to crack. She felt lost all over again, afraid of what lay ahead. And afraid of this person's sudden change, she was terrified this was all just a fleeting dream. The singing stopped. In that same moment, Ren noticed Mommy was crying. She panicked and climbed into Olivia's lap, reaching out her tiny hands to wipe away Mommy's tears. "Mommy, don't cry, Ren will make it all better." Ren thought Mommy was hurting somewhere, so she helped wipe the tears, and lifted her little face to tug open Olivia's collar and blew softly on her neck. And there beneath the collar, Olivia's back was covered in scar after scar. You had no idea what was happening between the mother and daughter outside because of your song right now. You were opening the account, and hitting record on a video you didn't show your face in the video. Just the lower half below your nose, you held the guitar and cleared your throat. This time you were noticeably more focused and performed the whole song straight through. Once it was done, you saved the recording, trimmed the extra time off the beginning and end, then extracted the audio, added the lyrics and melody credits, and submitted the copyright registration online. Once everything was taken care of, you typed out a title: All My Life for You, an original song. Hope you all enjoy it. Please like and share the video uploaded successfully. You let out a slow breath, feeling like a weight had been lifted. Now just sit back and wait for the response from the public. This song in this era is going to be a straight up bomb. You put the guitar back in the closet, then rubbed your stomach, which was completely empty. I wonder if those two are done eating yet, man. What a mess. Rubbing your stomach, you finally couldn't wait any longer and gently pushed the door open. Just a crack, and peeked outside like you were sneaking around. You happened to catch Olivia carrying Ren away from the table. Her eyes were red, like she had just been crying. She clearly spotted you too and froze for a second, then quickly carried the child back into the main bedroom. You exhaled with relief, pushed the door open, and walked to the dining table you could finally eat. Seeing that they had clearly left some food set aside for you, your heart felt a little warm. Then you picked up the millet porridge and drank it down in big gulps. You cleaned every dish on the table after tidying up the bowls and chopsticks. You wandered around the apartment with nothing to do, taking a look at the layout of the place. It was a 2-bedroom, 1-living-room unit, only about 500 square feet. They bought it together when they got married, and all the furniture was from back then. Everything looked pretty worn out now. You shook your head, dropped onto the couch, and just sat there. It was hard to imagine how Olivia had been living in this environment with a child for 2 years, barely going outside. It felt like being in prison. You knew you couldn't change everything overnight, so you just curled up on the small couch, scrolling through your phone, looking up how to take care of a family, how to make a kid happy, how to be a good dad. The internet had all kinds of answers, and it made your head spin. Just then, the main bedroom door suddenly opened, and you looked toward the sound. A little head peeked out. Ren tilted her head and looked at you with the same almond-shaped eyes as her mom, studying you with curious wide eyes. Those bright, sparkling eyes were full of innocence and wonder, and they nearly melted your heart. But Ren's little face was so thin, just like her mom's. If she were a little chubbier, she would be even cuter. That was because this mother and daughter had been living on leftover scraps every day, and the food was always soaked in alcohol smell, so the little one couldn't even eat much of it. The original guy never gave them any money, so they were always going hungry. Seeing Ren, you instinctively wanted to smile, but before the corners of your mouth could even lift, you watched Ren get startled and slam the door shut, bolting back inside. From inside the room, you could hear Olivia soothing the child. Your smile froze on your face. You rubbed your nose, feeling a little helpless. Time passed quietly, and by noon, you put down your phone and stood up, time to make lunch. And just at that moment, the bedroom door opened again. Olivia walked out of the bedroom. Stone-faced, holding a pile of laundry, she moved like you weren't even standing by the couch, and walked straight toward the bathroom. You clearly noticed as she passed. Her body went rigid for just a second. Was she going to do the laundry? You suddenly remembered the clothes you had changed out of yesterday were still sitting in the washing machine. Thinking of that, you quickly headed toward the bathroom too. Olivia was already nervous on the inside. She hadn't expected you to still be home at this hour. Normally by now, you would already be out drinking with your buddies, hearing your footsteps getting closer. Her nerves shot up even more and her body started to tremble slightly. Hey, I still have some clothes in the washing machine. Mind if I grab them real quick? Olivia, who had been bending down to open the washing machine door, was startled and stumbled slightly, pressing herself further back into the bathroom. Hey, watch it. You couldn't help but say. Olivia finally registered what was happening. He was asking for her permission. She avoided your eyes, not daring to look at you directly. Go ahead, you first. Thank you. You clenched your fist, your hand trembling slightly, your eyes barely hiding the anger and heartache. Just now, you had clearly seen Olivia's neck and the red and purple bruises running down it. You gathered the clothes from the washing machine without looking at her and just said, "You'll make lunch in a bit. Make sure Ren comes out to eat. Ren is asleep. You can go wake her up yourself in a bit." Olivia shrunk back again, looking completely flustered. You knew your being there was just adding pressure. You rubbed your nose helplessly, grabbed the clothes from the washing machine, and quickly went to the balcony to hang them up, then walked into the kitchen inside the bathroom. Olivia was still standing there, holding her laundry in a daze. Not until the sounds of cooking started coming from the kitchen did she snap out of it. She put the clothes into the washing machine with trembling hands, her gaze drifting toward the kitchen without meaning to, wondering to herself what was wrong with her, and then she suddenly froze again. Since when did she pick up the habit of rubbing her nose like that? Olivia just stood there in front of the washing machine, listening to the drum spin, her heart all tangled up until all the clothes were washed. She took them out to the balcony and started hanging them up while that man kept on buzzing around the kitchen, busy as ever. Ren didn't wait for Olivia to come get her. She woke up on her own, both little fists still rubbing her sleepy eyes. Then the next moment, when she spotted you busy in the kitchen, those big, beautiful eyes of hers clearly lit up, and she curiously pressed herself against the kitchen door frame, watching your back. Olivia finished hanging the laundry and turned around just in time to see this. Little Ren watching with a face full of anticipation and you bustling away in the kitchen. Something in Olivia suddenly broke. She spun around fast and pressed her back against the wall, both hands covering her face as she slowly slid down, tears falling without a sound. This was a scene she had only ever seen in dreams a long, long time ago. Just like this morning, you didn't sit at the table with them after setting out the food. You quickly headed out the front door, hearing the door click. Olivia hastily wiped the tears off her face, stood up and carried Ren to the dining table. She had no idea how to sort out what she was feeling right now. She didn't even know what she was thinking herself. The food was just as delicious as breakfast, and the little one was already going at the egg custard again. But this quiet, peaceful lunch for the two of them was quickly interrupted by the sound of the door. They both instinctively looked up and saw you push the door open, carrying a big bag of stuff. Ren scooted a little closer to Olivia, her small spoon still in her mouth. Those big eyes of hers followed your every move. You kept your eyes low, Not daring to look at the startled mother and daughter, you just walked to the couch, set the bag down, and then spoke up. I got you some ointment, make sure you use it. And I got the kid a toy. I wasn't sure if she would like it, but I saw all the other little girls have one, so she should have one too. Olivia didn't respond. After a moment of silence, you continued. I know you won't believe me, but I still need to say this. I'm done drinking from now on, and I am never going to hurt you two again. You and Ren don't have to be so scared around the house anymore. The kid is still little. This kind of atmosphere at home is not good for her. You got it all out in one go and felt like a weight had been lifted off your chest. Without waiting for Olivia to respond, you quietly walked back into the side room. Olivia watched your figure disappear and the door close behind you. She had even less idea what to say now in just one single day facing this sudden shift in this man. She still couldn't let her guard down, in the room you were in no better shape emotionally. Your eyes were red clearly. You had cried outside too. If you could have it your way, you would rather never have ended up here. Never knowing any of this, especially seeing all those scars on Olivia's body. Your chest felt so heavy it was almost suffocating. You genuinely could not understand how anyone could have that much cruelty toward their own family. They left some food out for you. But when you came out and saw the things you had bought sitting on the coffee table, the bag still unopened, you pressed your lips together and sighed. You sat down and ate in silence, but just then, the main bedroom door opened again and Ren peeked her little head out. Staring at you with curiosity, you quickly flashed her a big smile. This time she didn't run away and your heart eased a little. The weight in your chest lifted a little thanks to this soft little kid, so you set down your chopsticks and called out to her with every ounce of gentleness you had. Ren. Your voice made her little body flinch slightly, but she didn't retreat. Instead, she turned and glanced back into the bedroom, and then, as if she had been encouraged, she looked back at you and a small, soft, childlike voice came out of her mouth.